I figured I'd at least tap in and chop it up with y'all. I'm at the house in my private space working on my closet here, trying to get my closet on track. I'm uh I'm taking my computer desk and everything, clearing it out of my room and putting it in my my walk. I just feel like that's a better space for me, right? But I figured I can at least chop it up with y'all. Can't be completely MIA. At least chop it up with you. Um, had some good things happen today. I had some of my props. I got a light show that I'm building right now, and some of my props came in today. Well, the last piece of the props came in today. It's a 10 feet prop. The light show that I'm going to be doing, it's going to be roughly. This will be my first light show ever. It'll be, well, not my first light show. I've done a form of a light show. I've been playing for a little minute. This one is actually more of a light show. It's a small one, but it ain't too small. It's like my prop. One of my props is 1,000 pixels. What's happening with your Billy dog? What's going on? Another one of my props. How clear can you hear me, Billy? Because I got my headphones on, and I don't know if my headphones as clear as I don't know. I don't know if the mic is picking up from my headphones or my actual phone. But cool, cool, cool. So that means my headphones probably working. But appreciate it. But yeah, so one of my props is 1,000 pixels, and then I have another one that's another 700 pixels. So that's 1,700 pixels just on props. Well, and then I got two more props that's at least another 100 each. I got two spiders, uh, three stacked pumpkins, and I also got a Yeti, a 10 feet, 10, 10 feet, 10 feet tall by, I think, 7 feet, 10 by 7. Pretty big Yeti. And that's the one that's 1,000 pixels. But I think I'm looking at roughly somewhere around 2,000 pixels, a little over 2,000 pixels on props. And then I got the roof line, the deck, the columns, the pillars, and those are going to be a whole different shebang in itself. So I got a lot of work to do when it comes to getting that stuff organized and ready to roll. As far as programming, I'm using a Raspberry Pi computer. That's a small mini computer, if y'all don't know what that is. And then I'm using a Falcon. I'm using an F16 V5 Falcon controller with 16 channels, four differentiator uh, channels as well. And that's going to be fun. So I got that going on. And I got all my wires. The last thing I'm waiting on right now is a 12. I need some transformers. I'm waiting for a few transformers to come in, which is converting my power injections and also converting 120 volts, which is typically in a home. If you plug something up into the wall, it's like 120 volts. Instead of me plugging directly into my display like that, it'll overpower it and burn everything out. I'm using I'm using my transformer. I'm gonna plug my transformer directly to the power supply, and it'll convert it down, break it down to where I can use my Raspberry Pi, my Falcon uh, V5. So that's all gonna be fun. I'm gonna get my props together this weekend. I'm trying to pace myself because it's a lot of pieces that make this project come together. But I'm locked in, man. It's going down, man. It's definitely gonna be. I know you can't see me. I'm actually working in my house, man. I'm working in my room, and I'm talking to y'all while I'm working. That's what's going on. I'm clearing out my closet. I'm about to put my computer set up in there, and I'm moving stuff around basically. But I figured I should chop it up with y'all, man. I don't want y'all in my game. I don't want you in my bedroom, you feel me? But I can at least chop it up with y'all. I can't be completely MIA. What Rob been up to? Where Rob at? What Rob doing? Living and working. I ain't never sleeping. I'm always going, man, always going. But yeah, it's definitely a process trying to get my computer and stuff in my closet because I feel like I want to free up. Well, my room is pretty spacious, but I want to make sure I got enough. I don't know. I like to lock in when I get on my computer, and if I'm in a confined space like a closet where I can shut the door and the small space, I'm locked in. I'm locked in. No noise distractions, etc. Solitude is what I be looking for. I need peace and quiet so I can lock in. So I'm preparing that environment as we speak. I'm creating the environment that I feel as if I would thrive in. You feel me? But the week's been amazing, man. The week's been amazing. It's been blessing. What's going on? X9 Red, what's happening? The week's been amazing. I've been closing. I had an estimate, y'all. I gotta tell y'all about this one, boy. I gotta tell y'all about this one, man. So it was a guy, um, reached out to me for a side consultation, right? So I visit his property. Well, first of all, he called me. He's like, "Hey, man, I'm trying to get a side install, right?" So I'm like, "Cool, I'll stop by." Boom, 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 and within the next hours, what is your address? So usually when people reach out to you and they trying to get some side install or something like that, they usually don't expect for you to be punctual and get over there fast. They probably won't even expect you to show up same day because they just got a bad taste for contractors not showing up, and it's not common to be able to get people over fast like that. So I told him I'd be over there. Sure enough, showed up or whatever. So I call him once I get there, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm outside." So he come outside, and he's like, I say, "Hey, I think his name was Ron or something." I say, "Hey, you Ron? I just want to make sure I'm at the right property." He's like, "Yeah, that's me." He said, "You're Robert, right?" I said, "Yes." The next thing he said was, "Where you from?" I say, I'm from Florida," like that. So he's looking at me and he's like, "Okay." He's like, "Yeah, this property." He just moved straight on. He didn't really elaborate once he said, asked me where I was from. So I'm like, okay, why would he ask me where I'm from? Usually when people ask me where I'm from, when I'm here in the Charleston area, there's a few reasons why they ask. First thing first, I picked up the phone. I was professional. He probably thought I was different. He probably thought I looked different when I show up, right? That's one, because how I handle the professional call. Two, when he talked to me in person, he didn't hear, it's called Geechee. He didn't hear a Geechee accent. So he probably noticed, okay, this dude is not, he doesn't have an accent like he's from here. Where's he from? So I get why he probably asked it. Um, so I just entertained it. I'm very nonchalant about things and I don't really dial into the details unless it get to a point where I feel like, okay, this person is actually poking, right? But anywho, moving on. He asked me where I was from and he moved on. So I didn't, took it with a grain of salt. Okay, he just asked me where I'm from. So we're walking the property. Um, the job is a full lawn renovation. It's a new build. He bought the neighbor's house, the neighbor's space, and built the house on it. Right? He bought the neighbor's house and he knocked it down and he built a brand new house. And it's bare dirt. There's no lawn at all. So he want irrigation and he want sod installed. Right? So we start in the front yard. I was like, so you want to kind of give me an idea of, what's going to be landscape, what's going to be actually grass, so I can get an idea of what I need to be measuring out for. So he's like, yeah, sure. So we start walking. He say, next question he asked, soon as before he even tell me about the area or whatever, he's like, hey, you play any football, basketball, anything? I say, not really. I say, I wasn't really too big on sports. I said, I played in maybe middle school or, Pop Warner and stuff, but I say, I was more of an academic guy per se. I say I wasn't. I chose the business side over entertainment. right there, right? I chose the entrepreneur route. So he keep moving. He asking me micro questions, and he never, go back and forth about it. He just leaving where they at. So I was like, okay, cool. So he's like, so this area right here, I want to have it graphed, this, that, and the third. So I was like, okay, cool. He said, looking at the whole lawn, he said, I think it's going to be about, for irrigation. It's not my first rodeo. I've done this a few times. He said, I'm pretty sure I'm going to need, I'm estimating 5 zones irrigation. I was like, really? I say, I don't think you need 5 zones. I was like, I've been doing this 12 years. I say, you actually, he said, no, I've installed irrigation before for my daughter's house, and you know, I've done this before. So you say, it's gonna be 5 zones. I was like, that's right. I was like, I'm pretty sure. I say, the thing is, if you look at this driveway, on the right side of this driveway, it depends on what type of hedge you're using. I say this one side of the driveway towards the backyard is one zone. I say you got different style heads. You got, Rainbird 5000. You have MP rotators. You have many different spray nozzles and jets that you can use to make it calibrated to actually cover this area. So you don't have to overkill it with multiple zones. But if you want more zones, cool. I say, but you really, this whole side is one zone. The backyard is a zone. The other side is a zone. And then there's a zone in the front. Unless you're going to do the landscaping and all that, you really don't need all these extra zones. I mean, an extra zone. I was like, hey, I said, at the end of the day, I didn't say this to him, but if you're trying to get an extra zone, a zone costs like 1,800. Like I'm gonna charge you 1,800 to $2,000 for one irrigation zone. So you insisting that you need this extra for what reason? So anywho, I let him. He said I've been doing this for a while. He said I want 5 zones. That's what he said. So I'm like, okay. He get me to his property before we can actually get capturing the measurements or anything. He's guesstimating how much irrigation he's gonna need. He's like, he need 5 zones. He's positives. All right. So now we're about to walk to the side of the yard, and actually he point out the rest of the property. I say, hold on. I say, matter of fact, being that you know that you need 5 zones, you should know the square foot of the yard. We don't even have to walk and measure it. That's what I tell them. Because if you got it all figured out, I'm gonna let you stand on that. If you got it all figured out, you should know how much square foot this lawn is if you know how many irrigation heads you need. It's based on square footage, the coverage, head to head coverage, guys. So I'm like, we don't even need to walk the property. How many pallets we need? I say, how much grass we gonna like? I'm messing with them because at the end of the day, if you got all the answers, but yet you call me over, why call somebody who do this day in day out and this is not what you do, and then try to correct me? And he didn't. He said, yeah, I want Hunter this, that, and I was like, I say he's because when he was talking about, I'm backing up a little bit, y'all. When we was talking about the irrigation and stuff that he need. He was saying he want a Hunter system, this, that, and third. I say it really don't matter what brand you go with. That's irrelevant because you can have Orbit, you can have Hunter, you can have Rainbird. We use all of them. But what you'll see is all the parts are interchangeable. So you'll have somebody that put a Hunter box inside the house, but you go out and there's Rainbird heads, and vice versa. You'll see a Rainbird box and you see Hunter heads. I say the parts are interchangeable, so it's kind of irrelevant, like what brand and like it's whatever, dude. Like, but you got it all figured out. Let's move along. So he's like, nah, I don't know the square footage. Going back forward, y'all. He said, I don't know the square footage of the lawn, this, that, and the third. I was like, okay. He's like, well, I figured you probably would know. I say, well, so we get to the side of the house and we looking at it. He's like, I say, as soon as we get to the side of the house, I look at it's a brand new house and it has no lawn. Nobody lived there, nothing. Nobody lives in it because it's just newly built. I see that he has gutters. So I'm like, hey, just to forewarn you, do you have a plan for the drainage? Because I see that you have this gutter here. I say it's not a problem now, but say if we were to come in, we grade the lawn, um, where would you like to reroute the water? Because it is decent amount of distance away from, the road or, a exit. He's like, well, I'll just put a brick right there in front of her. When it come down, it'll just splash and that should make it disperse pretty good or whatever. I'm like, okay, cool. So we go to the backyard. he's talking again. He's like, so where do you live? Right? First, he asked me where I was from that was within the first few sentences. He asked me where I was from at the beginning, and then he asked me did I play any sports. Then he was so sure about what he needed. So I'm getting not to say these are red flags, but um, I'm just it's kind of a little bit of a buildup, right? He's like, where you from? I mean, where you live? I said I live in North Charleston. He's like, yeah, where at in North Charleston? I was I was like blank X and X, right? That neighborhood that I told him I live in, I feel like he felt some type of way. He's like, he looked at me a certain way, like, you live there, right? And he's like, oh yeah, what street? I was like, well, blank, blank. Why? He was like, you know any of your neighbors? I'm like, no, I've been out there for like a year or so. Like he asked me these questions, try to validate, like they try to I don't know what his purpose was, but at this point, if somebody is digging and asking all those questions, what can be the Why would he ask those questions? If I told him I lived in a luxury neighborhood and I told him exact street, and he asked me, do I know the neighbors? Like, bro, what you doing? Like what? Why you giving me all these questions? For one, you feel some type of way because of who I am or what? But at this point, I'm like, okay, obviously some type of smoke with me, and he don't even know me. And anywho, I didn't even take offense. I'm still chilling. So I'm like, I'm the type of person that if you come to see, I'm gonna give you a show to an extent. I'm gonna be who I am. I'm gonna keep it professional. But if you ditch stuff out, be ready to accept it back. So we continue to walk or whatever. I say, okay, I'm walking along or whatever. My phone is blowing up, y'all. Phone blowing up, trap booming. Everybody calling. I'm talking about customer after customer, leads calling me wanting sod, etc. So I'm like, I picked up my phone like 4 times. After I talked to him, I said, okay, I'm gonna actually walk the lawn and capture some measurements or whatever. And while I'm measuring out the front lawn, he's sitting on the front porch of this brand new house, and now he's guesstimating. He's like, what square foot you got there? He's like, that's about 25 feet, right there. I was like, nah. I joke with him. I said, man, you're really good at this. I said, it's 21 feet, but man, you're really good at this. He's like, I'm not that good. Not if it's off. I was like, and I laughed, like, bro, stop trying to do my job if you want to do. And then he said, I would do this myself. He's like, if I wasn't 72, I'll do this like that. And I was like, man, what 72 guy need to do with it? I said, you can do it yourself. I was like, you can get out here still doing sod and doing the grading and irrigation and all that is easy. I was like, what are you talking about? Get out here. I'll probably be doing this when I'm 90. I was like, nah, I'm just joking. He's like, no. He said, I'm sure, man, when you get my age, you get up to 72, man. And he say, uh, something about retiring. He say, I'm retired and what did he say? He said, after 29 years, I'm retired. He said, I'm pretty sure when you get 72, I'm pretty sure you're gonna want to stop doing it. I said, I won't be doing this when I'm 72. That's what I said to him. I said, I won't be doing this when I'm 72. I said, I'll be retired in the next 3 years. I said, there's no way I said, I wish I would be putting down grass the next 3 years. So I'm rubbing it in, y'all. I'm rubbing it in. I'm like, I'm retired in the next 3 years, bro. I don't know what you talking about. I ain't gonna be no 70, 80 years old out here busting out work. So I'm rubbing it in because he already kind of offended me, but I got to give the people the same energy in the same playful way. So I'm like, nah. I said I wish I would be putting down some grass or doing irrigation when I'm 72. I was like, I'll be. I said I'll be right within the next 3 years. I'm on track like that. And he's like, so he didn't say nothing to that. But every time I got to take a shot, I was taking a shot. Then he's like, well, he's like, what is it, about 15 pallets? So he's just keep questioning me, and I was like, man. After I got all the measurements, crunched the numbers, I say, man, you were really, really close, man. I say, I'm at 7,000 square feet. We had 14 pallets, 500 square feet per pallet, like that. I was like, man, you're good at this, like that. And he's like, what do you say? He say, nah. He say, I was wrong again. I was like, but every time he's saying he's wrong, it's like, bro, you hired me to come over here, be accurate with what I do, and yet you kind of question everything. But the funny and the last kind of straw was this. I was like, he was like, yeah, I had a guy over here and he already estimated and he told me how much it was gonna be, this, that, and the third. And he was like, he didn't send me over, a breakdown of where everything was coming from. I was like, so that was the red flag at the end. It's like, well, if he already had somebody over here and they already measured it out and he already got a price, why didn't he move forward with them? And he's like, he wanted to see, he said, he didn't tell me how much is going to labor, how much is the price, how much square feet. He didn't tell me anything. It was just a price. I'm like, I said, that person probably gave you a price to get you to around them because you're a butthole. Like, it's like made up in mind. So as soon as as soon as I get my numbers together, I'll be able to tell you a price once I was done. So being that I told him it was 7,000 square feet, I said, let me be transparent. I'm at $1.45, and this is based off of the volume of what we're about to do. I say I'm at a dirty $1.45 of just labor to install this. That's not nothing to do with us purchasing grass. They don't have it don't have nothing to do with nothing. So $1.45. I say we at $10,150. That's labor to do the prep and actually labor to actually install the side. I say, but what I'll do is I create you a detailed one, of everything. And that wasn't even including irrigation, y'all. So in reality, his job will probably be around 24,000, maybe $25,000, and I know he won't go with it because he's price shopping. Like if somebody give you a price and I don't know, he gave me the wrong vibe. And as small businesses, y'all, we have the ability not to say we can pick and choose, but in a reality, you don't got to do business with somebody who you don't have to do business with somebody who you don't feel is a good fit for you. And he wasn't a good fit. Like the whole vibe, like I don't know, like it boils back to like right now. That dude was a grade A hole. That's just how I feel about it. And he was being that way. I'm not just saying it because how the questions he was asking, his demeanor of how he was asking it, it could have been offensive. And to be real with you, sometimes like people, it's a temptation thing where people almost make you break character and like, nigga, I'll take this shirt off. I'm a small bit. I'll whoop your behind. Don't disrespect me. You can easily get out of line with people, but being that you're a professional and you have to not get emotional on these properties, keep your composure. You know what I'm saying? But I could have went left on him if you were talking to like an old me, getting new in business and not knowing how to handle myself, not having the compound experience from other professional environments. I could have blew my cool. I could have blew my cool and flipped, but I'm so uh reborn. You know what I mean? And I have emotional intelligence to know that when people are trying to tempt you to get out of character with them, don't take the bait because it make you look bad at the end of the day. So that's the moral of the story. It was funny, and it just I had to share. And this dude really, really like play like I said, I sent him a price. The price gonna be so high. Like I don't want his business, and I almost want to just tell him I don't want to do business. I don't think we'll get fit. But the best way to handle it is send him a quote, and the price is gonna be. I'm not cutting any corners on my price. I'm literally charging, like how I usually feel I'm being generous with other quotes. I'm not gonna be generous with my quote. I'm not gonna gouge it. I'm just not gonna be generous. I'm gonna give him my price what I would charge for any other job based on my work or whatever, and that's gonna be that. But outside of that, this is how I add that cherry on top with my professionalism. I'm gonna give him 3 references to other contractors, and it's gonna be my competition. My competition or people who I know would take it on, but would I want to refer somebody close to me that I don't like? Maybe I miscalled it or misjudged it, but I don't think I did. Like I'm a firm believer when somebody show you who they is, you better believe them. You take it for granted. You take it with a grain of salt. You want to, or think, nah, I just might have seen that. Nah. They show you who it is. You better believe them, because if you're naive to think that somebody wasn't being intentional about something, you're gonna find out the hard way once you don't took out, you don't did a $17,000 job, and now this person is becoming a problem with other things like, hey, I want a refund, or like people can really become a problem. And I don't set myself. I do business with people who appreciate what I do and glad that I did the job. Moral of the story is the experience that I had just last week with a lawn renovation we did. Like the customer was very, very, very happy. Him and his wife was very emotional. Like we did a really good job at delivering on his job. He had irrigation recently installed, so I was like, cool. It wasn't me; it was another company that did the irrigation. But we went in there. We did our thing on doing that lawn renovation. We took it from being weeds and bare dirt to a beautiful Xeon Zorja lawn. His wife and him was so happy. He said, "Man, we can't thank you enough. We truly, truly appreciate it. This, that, and the third." Like they just kept laying it on. Like they were happy, very happy. And that right there is why I'm in business. Because sometimes you might deal with a bad egg, like somebody who's being intentional about how they feel about you and your success or whatever. But on the flip side, people who truly appreciate you. Like that other dude, the other client who truly appreciated me, he dropped a bag. That dude dropped a like these people drop a bag and they just want it done correctly. And when you deliver and you walk them through the full process, this is like, wow, how did we find this guy? Where did we find this is what we needed. We found the right person. I love people who appreciate what we do. Like that's what I'm in business for. But man, enough with the babbling, man. I had to tell y'all that because it was definitely a it was a funny scenario. But how my blessings come to me, I knew challenges come, and when you're about to be elevated, you get challenged more and more. And I ain't gonna lie, this year, period, landslide was one of the best years for me in my landscape business. One of the best years. I was locked in. I wasn't spread thin with doing a million and one things. You know what I'm saying? I was locked in. I truly appreciate it. I was blessed. It ain't because I'm some great person. I don't take credit. I was blessed by the man himself. God has ordained me to be successful in the realm of what I'm doing. So I did. I was able to be fruitful this year, y'all. Really grew in the way that I need to grow for me and my family, growing the team, etc. I have, my family coming in. My cousin came up from Florida, helped me out, and like everything just worked out. It worked out so great this year, and it ain't over, y'all. The year ain't over. I told y'all, you know what I'm saying. Just because it's good and it's going, you got to squeeze the lemon. And we can't just lay down when there's money on coming in. It's too much money to come in to lay down and say, you know what, I had enough. I'm just, because I was almost there. I was like, man, I'm going to shut it down and I'm only going to focus on holiday lighting because that's literally where, like, what I think I did in my landscape, like, I quadruple it in my other business. Like, so I can't imagine what's going to happen this year with my lighting business. It's going to go crazy. It's been doubling every year. So I've already got, my 50% retention. I'm getting up there. I got so many people already booked. The season is going to be crazy this year. It's going to be crazy. And I know it is. So I was like, no, I'm going to shut the landscape down. But then I was thinking, I was like, you know what? And I talked to my OG today, my mentor. You know what I'm saying? Told me he was proud of me, all that good stuff. And he was like, Rob, do you think these new developments, these new home builders who's building homes every day in your area, do you think they're not laying down sod? And he say, long as it's not snowing, they laying down that side, right? You say, man, I look at it like this, Rob. It feel better to lay down grass when it's cooler than when it's 100 degrees in the summer. You say, man, you better get that bag. That's just my opinion. I was like, you know what, dog? You know what, Joe? I'm with you. I'm with you. I say, you know what? I'm gonna line it up. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna limit the amount of clients that I'm servicing because I know I got a really, really packed out schedule with lighting this season. But I'm gonna be able to toggle both. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get money on both ends because I don't want to stop. I don't want to plug the well that's overflowing with abundance right now. I got overflow. I ain't gonna lie. I almost was finna start giving them to a buddy of mine, but I was like, would he show the same love? Would he give them to me? Probably not. So you know what? My blessing is my blessing, and I want to be a blessing to people who, not to say I'm not seeking, I'm seeking for something in return, like in a major way, but I'm just drawing a line in the sand because there's not too many people that I can refer work out to, and they're gonna do what they. I got like two people, but at the end of the day, I had to really reconsider. Like, I'm doing this for these people. Do they really, really care about if I'm successful or not? If I drown? If me and my family's like they don't care in this business. Like, we business buddies. We ain't friends. And that's why I have to separate. Can't take it all. Can't be all emotional about something when it's business. Business is business. It's a cutthroat industry sometimes, and you can't not think that somebody won't, go behind your back and do stuff. Because I've ran into that a few times, and that's why I'm like, eh. But anywho, I just wanted to chop it up with y'all, man. I'm still moving stuff around in my house. I'm working in my closet, um, moving my computer desk and all stuff in here. So just want to at least chop it up with y'all, man. Um, it's just a little bit of a story time. But yeah, man. It's been a long one. Today was I've been practicing locking in a little bit more, y'all, because I've um I've been doing a good job at staying focused and focusing on one thing at a time. But as entrepreneurs, y'all, I kid you not, you wear so many hats where, you know, sometimes you have to figure out how to prioritize things because you could get spread really thin on doing something great. I had me and my brother, we talk every day, almost all day during this part of the season because we got a lot of things in common. He's a married man with uh, with kids, and he's an entrepreneur. You know what I'm saying? We got those things in common, so we chop it up a lot. Like-minded individuals keep each other sharp. He's an engineer. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a risk taker, high risk. But anywho, we chop it up or whatever, and we was talking about what we talking about today. We talked about so many things. What are we talking about? We're talking about people who sometimes get a little bit too busy and they're doing some of everything to the point where they're not being as productive on one thing. And this is a guy who I got locally who he has a lighting business. He got a and then he got five other businesses that he's running. How great do you really think he is, y'all? How great do you think he is? And then I want you to think about this. Do you think Steve Jobs, do you think Jeff Bezos, do you think people who actually have, do you think Oprah Winfrey, do you think people who have a great amount of success, do you think that they were doing a million and one things to get themselves to where they're at today? Think on that for 60 seconds, 10 seconds. No, I'm going to give it to you now. No, they wasn't thinking on a million things. They were very focused on a specific path to get that form of success to where they're at, to make it to where they're at today. I say that to say the guy who um, claims to be, he's the CEO of this, or he owns it. Like, that sounds cool, but you know, I think that when you just putting titles on you doing all these businesses, I would bet to say that jack of all trades is what? The master of none, right? So how many of these things that you're actually successful in? Probably none. Probably none because you're spread thin. You know how much energy is required to be successful at one business. Like, bro, you got bookkeeping, you have marketing, you have logistics, how things are gonna work. You got it's so many moving parts with being a business owner. And people who say it's just easy and just jump out of they cabin. No, it's people who you must ain't did nothing to say it's just easy. It takes nuts. Now you gotta have courage. You gotta have confidence to be able to fail multiple times. And when you're failing, you gotta be consistent at overcoming. Saying, you know what? Despite me failing right now, in reality, I didn't really fail. It really was a lesson that I got out of this failure to an extent. So this guy spreading himself thin, doing all these things, it says a clear message to me that none of the things that he's doing is working. This is what me and my brother determined. None of the stuff that he is doing is working well for him. That he's doing other things. Because you best believe if somebody got a $2 million, $1 million business, do you think all those things that they're doing is all $1 million business? No. You and I'll be surprised if he's doing 100K or 50K because he's spreading himself so small, so thin. But who am I to say? I don't know the dude's life, but this is just an observation based on a lot of the successful people that's out there, serial entrepreneurs, the heavyweights that's in the entrepreneur space. The math don't math when you're doing a million and one things. It just don't make sense. God bless the dude who came up with Walmart because that's crazy. Yes, he was focused on the supermarket. Yes, he was focused on being able to not like have very low profit margins and get a lot of people in based on value. Man, to even accomplish that, it's like, bro, your mind was like, I'll sell everything. I'll sell you. You can go in my store and you can get groceries, or you can go in there and get some oil for your car. Like, think about what that dude's brain was. Like, that's crazy. And be able to actually make it happen on a large scale that affected the world history today is crazy. But hey, it happened. It's real. But that's like a unicorn situation, y'all. That is a unicorn situation. Same thing with same thing with Amazon, eBay. Come on, y'all. It's a lot of different things you can hear about people doing things on a mass scale. But at the end of the day, they were focused on a specific. Ultimately, Walmart is a local place where you can go and you can get everything nowadays, which is crazy. It's crazy that to me that you can go into Walmart and find all these things. They got so many so many distractions, imposed zones. And nowadays, if y'all look into Walmart, they're innovating. And I like it. I like it. I like how they're innovating. I see the trend. So if you go into Walmart right now, notice how you can actually buy something. They have express lanes. They got self checkout, so they don't have as many employees working. They got self checkout. They have specific parking. They don't got so crazily dialed in. They don't got crazily dialed into everything when it comes to uh, from checkout to parking. Like you got the delivery. Like it's so many things that don't change with time. It's a blessing to see that all that stuff still works. Yeah, but if I go look up Walmart right now, of course they're still a $1 billion company, but sometimes it can look like companies are successful, but you don't know if you really go dial in and look at like, is this company in the profits or in the negative? There's companies that operate at a deficit, like they've been in a negative for years, but yet you see all this motion. You know what I'm saying? It costs a lot they get sued. They have so many things that's going on. And I don't know. It's one of those things where you really got to dive into the details to see is this business really like profitable like that. But Luke, you good? All right. But yeah, man. I don't want to babble too much about that, but it's the goal. I think focus is a big thing. That's all. More what I'm trying to say is Focus, 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 y'all. Um, it's the elevator to success. If you just locked in on one specific thing for a period of time, let it play out. My mentor, my OG say, Rob, let it play out, bro. You gotta at least go through a year, go through 2 years with it, man. You gotta let it play its course. Stop switching up because you ain't gonna know if it's working. And then when it don't work, that's data. That's data that you have, experience that you have to know, if you have to change stuff. But don't don't keep changing things so fast because it's hard to track the results of what you're doing because you didn't give it a full chance. I was like, you know what? I'm with you on that, big dog. I'm with you. I'm with you. I'll slow down and speed up. And that's what when I talked to him today, I was like, man, I slowed down to speed up, bro. I slowed down to speed up. And this season has been great. To be honest, y'all, I was like, I didn't know what I could do this year. I didn't know how this was gonna happen. I was in a, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna sugarcoat it. I was in a bad position at the beginning of this year, boy. I was in a bad position. Life wasn't so great, y'all. I wasn't in the best place. Mentally, physically, my ankle was broken. I was kind of down and out. Like, I haven't got over the pain that I've had over the last year. I still feel every step. I can still feel the pain. I haven't fully healed. But guess what? It don't stop me from continuing to go. It shut me down on my landscape side of the business because it required me to be a little bit more diligent about taking on a lot of heavy duties that require me lifting, let's say, wheelbarrows with gravel and stuff, sod, 10 rows of sod or 5 rows of sod in a wheelbarrow. That stuff is heavy, y'all. And I had to be mindful of that last year and not over stress. Basically, I didn't want to stress my body out to injure myself further. Because when you got a broken bone, I think you're more prone to another injury if you don't go through the rehab process of doing what exercise is required to make your bones and stuff stronger. I was disobedient, y'all. My 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 doctor told me I should be cycling more, and that'll help me strengthen my leg or whatever, my ankle, because I broke my between my ankle and the side of my leg. It was broken in two places. I never broke a bone before, but um, yeah. So that right there, y'all, it kind of hindered me. But this year, I don't know. I'm truly grateful. I'm blessed, and I don't take the credit for it because um, I've been doing what's required, to get to where I'm at. But it's been a true blessing. Like I literally had favor on my life to even for this stuff to even fall into place. You know what I mean? Like I would love to say, man, I'm so great. I think, nah, bruh. I pat myself on the back just for 5 seconds, but at the end of the day, God deserves all the glory for where I'm at. That's just what it is. I can't take credit for where I'm at. I can't. And I'm completely understanding that I gotta continue going because it ain't over. It ain't over. If he blessed me with all this overflow, don't get complacent. Don't get complacent and forget what the beginning of the year was like because you healed up and you're good now. Don't get complacent now. Don't get beside yourself. Like, cause it was all good just a week ago. Y'all heard it. It was all good just a week ago. But then, you know what I'm saying? But God. And nowadays, and this I feel like this is very consistent of myself. I pray for wisdom and guidance to be able to handle the things that I'm being blessed with because sometimes you can get in a position where you came out of a situation and now that you're not in that situation, you kind of forget how it was, and it's like, bruh, nah. That burned me to my side, knowing that where I was to where I'm at right now, if I get complacent and think that, let me go back to how life was before, because I feel as if the things that I've been doing obviously contributed to my decline. So I can't go back to just ignoring of what I feel that I should be doing or I'm deserving of. No, let's change some things up because in reality, you have the ability to make better decisions to put yourself in a better position. And, I don't want to take that for granted. I don't want to take that for granted. Coming along, y'all. I'm coming along. What's happening, man? I'm over here still working. I got my little desk, man. Getting my room, my closet on track. I'm trying to get it together. What's going on, A and J? What's happening with your big dog? What's happening? I gotta go check you out, man. I've been MIA a little bit, man. I gotta go check out them lives you've been having going on. See what you got going on, man. I've been locked in and getting dialed in because the best part of my year is here. A and J, the best part of my year. I think I was something serious with my landscape, bro. I'm about to double, triple what I have going on with this other business. This business that I'm in with Christmas lighting, it's been doubling every year. So this year, matter of fact, a few days ago, I actually lost one of my big clients. It was a decent job. It was like a $4,000 job how it started out, and then it ended up being like a consistent $3,000 job over the last 4 years. Great client, you know what I'm saying? And unfortunately, they divorced. They divorced this past year, and they selling the house. So I'm like, no, they divorced. Now I don't have this client. But guess what? It wasn't a big deal. The crazy part about the business that I'm in, it's I'm actually a little bit excited. It's like I can be sad, but I'm happy in the same token. The reason I'm happy is this. The business that I provide is I lease lights. I basically put up lights and I take them down and I charge people as a service for this. So being that I'm charging them for a service, all the material is owned by the company. So let's say they broke up, I lose a customer, they move, whatever. I still own all the lights. The amount of lights that I used for that big property was enough to do 4 properties. And if my average ticket is $2,000, if the average ticket that I have is $2,000 for per client, bro, those lights just went back up to retail. So I can go get 4 customers and make $8,000 in reality off the exact same material. Exact same material. Because I can custom cut it to fit their property. So it's like I love it. It's like, boy, I just went back out to retail. So when I lose a customer, say somebody move, etc., I don't get too sad because usually I do offer preseason promotions and it starts to bring my price down on how profitable I am on a job, but not significantly because after the first year, everything's paid for anyway. Second year is literally just a little bit of labor. Everything's pretty much profitable still. You don't really have to swap out too much. So either way it goes, it's very still profitable. It's just, you know, having, reoccurring customers to the point where you can go back and install the same thing. It makes it's a little bit faster because you have everything that's already fit for the property. But this season about to turn up, man. It is crazy and it's about to turn up, man. It is about to turn up. I'm expecting great things because I'm putting the work in to get there. I'm expecting great things because I'm putting in the work to get there. But yeah, man. Oh boy. Moving stuff around in this room, man. My wife got this amazing shoe rack. You got these vanities. I got my camera off, y'all, because I'm working in my little personal space and I'm trying to. I figured I wanted to at least chop it up with y'all, man. I be missing y'all, man. This is like my diary, my entrepreneur diary. So who better to share it with than other businessmen themselves who are out here who experiencing some of the similar things. A and J, I was telling the story about a customer, a prospect that I was dealing with earlier today. I mean, this week. Man, it was something else, man. You got to go back and listen to it if you have, whatever, if you weren't here earlier. But man, it was pretty funny. His bro was on. I don't like to use the R word and say he was that or nothing like that, but I just find it ironic all the questions he was asking. It was funny. Bro say, "Where you from? Where do you like?" He asked this in spaces. Like he didn't ask it all at once. He's like, where you live?" First he asked me where I'm from. I said, "Oh, I'm from Florida." Boom, boom, boom. And then he's like, "Okay." And then he's like, "So, where you live at here?" And I was like, "Oh, I live in North Charleston." Where in North Charleston? I live in X and X neighborhood, right? I said, "I live in Cusall." Bro was like, "What street you live on there?" Because he was surprised. Cusall is a luxury neighborhood. He's like, "What street?" I told him X Street, right? He's like, "You know any of your neighbors?" I was like, "No, I just been living there for a year." So this dude is giving me not a hard time, but he's digging for what? Why would he ask me those questions? Like, what other reason would he ask me those questions? It's like, it ain't your business. So I started to get personal with him at the end. Like, so what do you do for a living? I almost say, when he started asking me those questions, I was going to say, hey, you want my social security number and my bank account number as well? Like, bro, like, all these questions is irrelevant while I'm here. Very irrelevant. And it's funny sometimes when I'm talking to certain people that they feel as if when they ask me a question that I have to answer. Like, bro, I don't have to answer. I feel like it's a courtesy to answer. And I'm an open book. So what I'm hiding for? I ain't got nothing to hide. What we doing? Like, I ain't got nothing to hide. Right there. And it just was very funny. It was very funny situation. Yeah, I'm getting it in tonight. I want to put a green screen in here in this album. But he was cutting up, A and J. He was cutting up, bro. And a piece of me, you know what I'm saying? If I was like, say if I wasn't, you know, who I am today, if I wasn't let's say reborn with my professional experience, if I hadn't worked in environments where people typically are angry and I had to diffuse angry customers and understand where their pain point is coming from, had I not had those skills, say if I was, you know what I'm saying, a street nigga just coming off the street and he talking to me this type of way, and I just, you know what I'm saying, snap on him, I'd be wrong, right? I'd be wrong. Like this dude blew his whole cap off when I did this or said this to him. Yeah, because it was inappropriate. It wasn't called for. It didn't require for you to know certain information. You just poking it. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, back to the business, y'all, because I just want to babble on here a little bit, man. I gotta spend some time with y'all, man. I gotta vent somehow. And these are real life situations, so I don't want nobody. I think this is helpful for somebody coming into this entrepreneur space to expect the unexpected to happen. Like I thought I was gonna go over there, you know what I'm saying, work my magic always like I always do, close them like I closed the last customer last week and did an amazing job for them. But guess what? Everybody got a plan until they get punched in the face, and he wasn't my ideal client. Um, wasn't a good fit, just based on communication and him. I feel like he would have definitely been a huge problem throughout the process of working on his property because apparently you got all the answers. You got it all figured out. So if you got it all figured out, you don't need me. You really don't need me if you got it all figured out, in my opinion. Yeah, he was wild. But whew, I gotta get this thing, man. This, boy, this thing heavy. All this stuff on it. Blinded by the light. There we go. Drop. still working, man. I'm trying to lock in and finish what I start, y'all. And I talked to the wife. I was like, hey man, let me go on in and just do what I need to do to get this thing the way I want it. That way I can work how I need to get stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no distractions. What I'm trying to do here. So, boom, boom, boom. Yeah. Oh, I got some candy cane lights. I can see. I got stuff in this closet that don't even need to be in here. This crap should be in storage. Got some nice little candy cane lights. Hey, customer gonna like these. Let's see if they working. I know they work, but what color they are. They're pure white. Yes, sir. Let's brew tonight. Gotta let you know, girl. Yeah, I'm gonna put a green screen right here. That'll be nice. That'll be nice. Get a light. Yeah, make this my little content booth, baby. I'm over here thinking it through, y'all. I'm combing through the details. Combing through the details. Tired. Tired. I gotta keep working, y'all. I gotta keep working. Don't get done unless I do it. Got about another 3 minutes. I'm gonna be on with y'all, and then I'm gonna turn up because I gotta listen to me some music so I can continue to make progress in here. Oh boy. And when you start getting old, you start bending down. Boy, that knee make you remember. That knee be like, yeah. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Yes, sir. It would be nice if I can get that to fit there, but I don't think I can. Let me see. My measuring tape. Measuring tape, where are you? But yeah, man, I hope y'all enjoy the little story time. I was just vibing with the vibe, showing y'all on the shenanigans that we having to deal with sometimes. And measuring out. Trying to make sure we start fitting here good. 22. That's 22. That is 32. 22, 32. Let's see. This is 10. Nope, this is 13. So 22 and 13 is 35. I'm 3 inches over. A little bit more. 3 inches left. Everything will fit right where it need to be. Yep. Make it happen, Captain. I'm trying to get everything in a tight spot. That way I got an open floor space. That'd be sweet. But I'm gonna chop it up with y'all later, man. Gotta get to it. I gotta listen to some music or something, man. I appreciate y'all hearing me out for story time. I be having to babble sometime, y'all. It's been a long one. I'm gonna stay locked in, man. Y'all appreciate y'all joining and all that good stuff. Later.